So it says we have to graph this by plotting points. So when we plot points, we have to make a table of values, and then we just choose values for x that we think are easy. So I can go 0, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter which points you choose for x, just choose small things that might be easy. So here, let's do 0 first. If x equals 0, so I write this out, y equals 3x minus 5. Wherever the x is, I'm going to put a 0. Oops. So I'm going to go 3 times 0 is 0, so I have y equals negative 5. So when x is 0, y is negative 5. There's my first point. So here, I go, 0 means don't go left or right on the x-axis, but go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's my point. So now I do if x equals 1. To write it out, y equals 3x minus 5. So wherever the x is, I'm going to put 1. So that's 3 times 1 is 3. And that's 3 minus 5 is minus 2. So if x is 1, y is minus 2. That's my second point. So if x is 1, y is minus 2. There's my second point. So now, let's do the third point. If x equals 2, so copy this out. Y equals 3x minus 5. Wherever the x is, I'm going to put a 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, minus 5, that equals 1. So if x is 2, y equals 1. That's my next point. So if x is 2, y is 1. So now you can see that I've started a line here. And once you have 3 points, I don't have to do the third one. I can just go, okay, here's my line. So this is a graphical representation of this. Let's do the next one. So it says graph the equation. It doesn't tell you how to graph the equation, so you can do it any way you want. So I'm going to do it the slope y-intercept method. So here, the negative is in the middle. So that means you can put it up or down. So let's just move it up. It doesn't matter. You can move it down if you want. So here, this is my y-intercept because it doesn't have the x with it. And here, whatever number's in front of the x, that's my slope. So step 1, my y-intercept. My y-intercept is negative 5. So I have to put a point on the y-axis at negative 5. Step 2, here's my slope. Negative 1 over 2. So remember, when we have a slope, the number on the top is up and down. If it's positive, it goes up, negative down, and the number on the bottom is left to right. If it's positive, this way. If it's negative, this way. So this says go down 1, go right 2. So I start here, I go down 1 and right 2. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. So you can see it's like an L that's fallen down. So I can put more here if I want. I just keep doing the same shape. Now, I can connect all those. And that makes a nice line. Do I have to make that many points? No. Just makes it easier for me to make a straight line. Okay, let's look at the next one. Find the x and y intercepts. So that means I have to make a table of values. But instead of choosing any numbers for x, I choose 0 for x and 0 for y. Because this means I have to find out where it touches the x and y axis. So, first I'm going to say if x equals 0, what's y? So let's write this out. Y plus 1 over 5x equals 2. So wherever the x is, I'm going to put a 0. What's this times 0? 0. So y equals 2. So when x is 0, y is 2. So that's my first point. So let's do the next one. If y is 0, So I'm going to write it out again. Y plus 1 over 5x equals 2. So wherever the y is, I'm going to put a 0. Oops, you can't see too much. Let's move that. So that's gone. So I have 1 over 5x equals 2. Okay, let's move this over here because I'm running out of room on my paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do because these are beside each other, I'm going to multiply them together. What's 1 times x? Just x, right? So really I can move it so it looks like this. I can put this x up here and the 1 hides. There's a 1 there, but I don't have to write them. Okay, so I'm just moving that x up to be with the 1 so it looks nicer. So now something divided by 5 is 2. Well, you can think about it, or you can just go x wants to be alone. I have to get rid of the 5. So remember that 5 over 5 equals 1. I have the bottom, so I just have to put the top on. So I'm going to put a little 5 here and extend the line. So now I have same over same, which equals 1. But if I do this to this side, I have to do it to that side as well. Same thing. So that's 1. So I have 1x equals 2 times 5 is 10. So x equals 10. So really it says something divided by 5 is 2. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, so if y is 0, x is 10. So I put a 10 here. That's my second point. So now we have to figure out which one it is. So 10, is it positive? Let's just make sure I didn't make a mistake. No, it's positive. Okay, so let's do this one first. I have to go out to 10, and it says don't go up and down. Don't go up and down. So this point is here, here. This line is not on that point, so it can't be this one. It can't be this one, so it's this or this. Let's plot this. 0, 2. So don't go left and right, just go up 2. Don't go left and right, just go up 2. Don't go left and right, go up 2. This one is not on this line. Nope. Oh, look, they wrote them here. Oh, silly me, I didn't see that. Look, the y-intercept, 0, 2. The x-intercept, 10, 0. We didn't have to look at the graph. We could have just looked at the numbers and matched them. So A is correct. Okay. Let's look at 21. Find the x and y intercepts. Ah, okay. So that means I have to go 0, 0 again. So if x equals 0, let's copy this out. Negative 5x minus 10y equals 30. Wherever the x is, I'm going to put 0. 5 times 0 is 0. So I'm left with negative 10y equals 30. So that means negative 10 times something is 30. Well, something like 3. Or you can think y needs to be alone, so let's get rid of the negative 10. Divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10, that's 1. So then I have y equals 30 divided by negative 10 is negative 3. So if x is 0, y is negative 3. Now I'm going to use this. Not these ones. It's either this or this. Let's do it here. So if y is 0, if y equals 0, let's copy it out. So wherever the y is, I'm going to put a 0. So 10 times 0 is 0. So I really have minus 5x equals, it's a 30. I missed the 0. So x wants to be alone. So I'm going to divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5. That's same over same, so that's 1. So I get 1x equals 30 divided by negative 5 is negative 6. So if y is 0, x is negative 6. So it's a negative, so it's not that one, so it's this one. Okay. 22, it's the same. Find the x and y intercepts. I don't have a lot of paper. I'll do it here. So I need to make a table of values. So I have to say if x equals 0, if x equals 0, I'm going to copy out that. So wherever the x is, I'm going to put a 0. So that's 0. So minus 25y equals 25. Minus 25 times something is 25. Well, being negative 1 probably. But y needs to be alone. So divide by negative 25, divided by negative 25, that's 1. So y equals negative 1. So if x is 0, y is negative 1. X is 0, y is negative 1. So it's not this, it's not this. So now, if y is 0, what's x? So copy out the equation. Wherever the y is, you're going to put a 0. So 25 times 0 is 0. So I want 5 times what is 25? Oh, I know 5 times 5 is 25, so that must be 5. Or I can say x wants to be alone. So divide by 5, divide by 5, that's 1. So then I have x equals 5. Same. So if y is 0, x is 5. That's my second point. Here, that one's negative, this is positive. Let's make sure we have a positive. Yeah. So it's this. So it's C. Okay. So now it says, same thing. Graph the equation using the x and y intercepts. So x and y intercepts means I have to make a table of values like this. So if x equals 0, so I'm going to put a 0 here. X plus y equals negative 3. Wherever the x is, I'm going to put a 0. So if x is 0, y is negative 3. So that's my first point. X is 0. That means on the x-axis, it says don't go left and right, stay at 0. Then it says go down 3. So there's my first point. Now for my second point, if y equals 0, let's find out what x needs to be. So copy this out. So wherever the y is, I'm going to put a 0 here. So that means x equals negative 3. So if y is 0, x is negative 3. So that's my second point. So x is negative 3, so it means on the x-axis, go down to negative 3. And then it says don't go up or down, because it's y, 0. So there I have 2 points. And see how they touch the axis? So it touches the x-axis and it's on the y-axis. That's why they're called the x-y intercepts, because whenever you do it this method, you're going to find out what point sits on the x-axis, what point sits on the y-axis. That's why they're called the x-y intercepts. It's where this line touches the x and the y-axis. So then I just connect the dots. There, and I've graphed it using the x and y intercept method.